One of the most asked questions I get on this channel is, where did you get this sound? How did you make this sound? And over the last 5 or so months, I've been really studying sound design to get a better understanding of why people seem to like these sounds so much, and learning how I can make these sounds from scratch so that I can share the love with y'all in an easy and simple to understand way. So today I will be showing y'all everything you need to know to start making lush ambient pads completely from scratch. The first thing we need to do is to pick our first wavetable and set the ADSR for our pad. For me personally, I think sine waves with a tiny bit of unison are a great foundation for any solid lush pad. We will be layering other wavetables on top of this foundation in our next step, but first we need to set our ADSR. I'm going to pull the attack and release up a bit, but we can always tweak these later down the line to fit more of our specific needs. Now on to step 2, layering. We're going to layer in some more wavetables in to give our sound a bit more depth. There are so many possibilities here, but to keep things simple, I'm just going to load in a saw wave with some unison, and then I'm going to layer in a triangle wave with some unison. I'm going to route these two sounds onto their own filters so that we can control them independently. One thing I've learned from watching a lot of sound design videos is that layering these wavetables in different octaves can really help you get a much more full and dynamic sound. Having each layer in a different octave is very common to see, but for this example, I'm only going to pitch our third oscillator up an octave. Another thing I've noticed while breaking down some of my own favorite pad presets is that they all have a bunch of development over time. We can achieve the same effect by having each sound routed to their own ADSR. This allows each oscillator to develop independently over time and helps the pad have a bit more flavor on longer held notes. I'm going to have our second layer here with a bit of a longer attack, and our third layer to have a much longer attack so that you can only really hear the higher octave layers at the end of each chord. Once you're done making your separate ADSRs, make sure to route them onto the volume over here. And now the real cheat code to give your pad some fire textures is to layer some kind of ambient Foley sound effect into the noise layer here. If they have any kind of tonality to them, just be sure to pitch the audio down to C. I'm going to layer this clicky texture here I found on YouTube, click all of these buttons in here, and now we should have something that sounds like this. Alright, this doesn't sound too bad, but we need to make sure this thing really sounds lush. And to do that, we need to add some movement. Once again, this opens up so many possibilities, but a really simple trick you can do to add some nice movement to your sound is to use an LFO to slowly open up one of your filters. I'm going to take this triangle shape we have here, pull the sides of it down a little bit, and this will make sure our filter has a nice slow open and then quickly closes again after its peak. And set the tempo to 4 to 1 so that this thing really takes a while to open up. Then all you need to do is drag this little circle here onto this bar here so that it controls the cutoff of the filter. You can realistically go crazy here and have this filter open up super fast to give one of your layers almost like a tremolo-y effect, or make this super slow to get a pad that has a ton of development over time, like how we have here. Then I'm going to go into LFO 2 and choose a sine wave here from the drop down menu. Now with this second LFO selected, I'm going to route this to the pan on our third oscillator here to give us a little bit of stereo movement. Be sure to click this little knob and click make bipolar. Then I'm going to use this little drop down here on our third oscillator and select bend, and with the same sine wave LFO, I'm going to link it to the bend here to give our oscillator itself a bit of movement. Don't worry guys, we are almost done with this step. I'm just going to add a little bit of movement to the second oscillator by linking a little bit of this random control to its filter. I'm really only doing a little bit with this random knob here. It is not going to do a lot, but it will help add some subtle, soft movement to our filter. Now finally, I'm going to route the second random function to the volume of our Foley sound. This will make our Foley layer here come in and out randomly, giving our pad a lot of uniqueness since no two chords will really sound the same. Now with all of that added, we should have something that sounds like this. And now to finish off our sound, we're going to add some effects. I find that adding a bit of chorus can really help tie these oscillators together, multi-band compression to really bring forward some of those subtler details in the sound, a bit of delay, and of course a little bit of reverb. And And there we go, a quick, fast, and simple method to making beautiful lush pads. I've had a ton of fun learning about sound design over the last couple months, and after a ton of experimenting and fine-tuning, my Vital preset bank is finally ready to be released. This is a pack specifically designed to feature basically all of the most requested sounds I get on this channel. And because y'all have been showing so much support, I've decided to release it completely for free. It will be open to donations if you would like to support me that way, which of course would be really appreciated but not necessary. It is jam-packed with ambient lush pads, mesmerizing leads, thick, meaty basses, everything you need to produce your next ambient drum and bass hit. That is the end of the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see y'all in the next one.